It's only UMkhoto Wesizwe that went to the streets to reject VAT increase. There is no any other political party here in South Africa that went to march against the VAT increase. It's only UMkhoto Wesizwe. When others were trying to discuss the VAT in court and in parliament, it's only us who went to the ground to reject VAT. Because we know that you cannot win in the court and in the boardrooms what you have not won on the ground. Comrades, we as UMkhoto Wesizwe must demand now that the Minister of Finance, Godongwana, must resign with immediate effect. Because what he did was attempted murder. An attempted murder is a crime in South Africa.
Good day everyone, welcome to News Alert. Welcome to another epic episode of another political talk. I welcome you to join me as we'll be talking about the letter that the MK Party have issued out to the public to say that they are calling for the Minister of Finance, Godongwana, to step down. So there's a lot that they have just disclosed there of the character of the minister, and saying that he is so not deserving the position because he's messing things out. So now, as we speak, right, the Minister of Finance, our Minister of Finance, is in the US. So what is he doing there? It was not clear. I tried to search for the reason of why is our Minister of Finance in the US, right? But one thing hit me: the IMF. You know that the IMF has just downgraded South Africa just a few days ago, right? And now the minister decides to go there in America. He's looking forward to there in America. There's something that was disclosed by the SG of the ANC, Fiscal, to say that what has been assisting the ANC pretty much the past 5 years were the loans that maybe they were getting from other helping funds out there, like the IMF and other solidarity helpers, which are assisting our government in terms of finances, right? So Fiscal did declare that we have exhausted the funds that we are receiving. We have exhausted meaning you don't understand this, meaning our country is in the deepest debt like never before. We are in debt. I think we owe almost every country that is out there, especially coming from the US. We owe these guys a big time because we don't have funds.
Our budget is over a 3-year period. That 75 billion rand is over a medium term, over a 3 period. Let me say, you will recall that Parliament, in accepting the fiscal framework, made a condition that during the next 30 days, I must focus on the proposal that are going to be submitted by a number of political parties. And I did exactly that and looked at those proposals of the different political parties in order to find revenue sources to replace the VAT. That was the broadly proposition that emerged from Parliament. I have done subsequent to that in consultation with this and looking at this proposal from these political parties, came to the conclusion that we might well find some resources with additional revenue from SARS, which at the time of presenting the budget, those resources were not necessarily available. Now, what that means, if that happens, we will reduce the current expenditure in line with the amount of reduction in VAT. Having done so, after the new budget with those reduced expenditure, we may then introduce a special appropriation to take into to close the gap, if I may say.
Now, the IMF has downgraded the growth forecast for South Africa. How concerned are you about that? And are there plans in place to try and make up that slowing growth?
They've downgraded that on Tuesday. Okay, we were here. We have got to go back and incorporate that into our forecast.
So, Godongwana now is just scooping around the world. We know pretty much well that he's looking for financial assistance. We know, because when he was asked, he said that no, they will just look at the tax revenues, maybe to collect some more monies there. And we know that as he's promising to say that they'll be looking at the tax revenues, we know that in the time past they have declared that to say that the money collected was not enough for what? For the fiscal framework. So now he comes and say that no, but the option is to go back now to the drawing board and say that okay, we'll look at what the tax is bringing in the table. So how is it that you are looking at the tax revenues while you've declared them to be not enough to cater for what the governments need to do? So that is very confusing for him. But now the focus now of the matter is this letter of the MK party. It is very, very interesting. Then I want us to talk about the political parties of why do they want to take the glory now, and what did they say in particular? Because I want us to talk about the DA. The DA was pretty much exposed by Kenny Kunene and the Minister of Finance, Godongwana. There's something that the DA has done in which on the late stage on this video, I want us to discuss that. What is it that exactly the DA has done? Because the DA had a mission which failed miserably. So for them to go to court and forbid the ANC to say that they want now this to stop them in this VAT increase, it was their fight, or how they were fighting back the ANC, because there was some harsh, strongly disagreement with the ANC in which the DA, they never got their way. So this was just a response to their dissatisfaction of saying that we are not happy and this is how we fight back. Then they just strike like that. So what is happening? So the MK party issued this letter in which it was very interesting. Let's just read what they've been declaring. Dated 25 April 2025, MK party tables a motion of no confidence in Minister of Finance Godongwana. Yes. The UMkhoto Wesizwe Party wishes to inform the people of South Africa that following the decisive call by the party leadership for the resignation of Minister Godongwana over his reckless mishandling of the VAT matter, the MK party has formally submitted a motion of no confidence in the Minister of Finance to the Speaker of the National Assembly. This action underscores the MK party's commitment to holding those in position of the public trust accountable for decisions that impact the lives of millions of South Africans. Minister Godongwana's failure to provide clarity and leadership on the VAT issue has sowed confusion in the markets, panic among the poor, small businesses, and further entrenched uncertainty in all already fragile economy. The minister's conscious decision to ignore advice to introduce wealth taxes or raise taxes on luxury consumption and more prudent economic fiscal interventional programs for GDP growth demonstrate his negligence towards the NDP agenda to stimulate productivity and job creation. Instead, the minister chose the most regressive and anti-poor option of increasing VAT, a measure that disproportionately punishes the working class, the unemployed, and the poor majority. The finance ministry cannot be entrusted to an individual and his GNU deputies who demonstrate such disregard for progressive fiscal alternatives that ought to address the socio-economic realities faced by our people. The minister's contradictory public statements, lack of transparency, and evidence disconnection from the lived experiences of the majority have rendered his continued presence in cabinet and is untenable. The MK Party calls upon all members of parliament who care about the working class and the economically marginalized to support this motion of no confidence when it's brought before the House. South Africa deserves a finance minister who prioritizes the interest of the people over those of capital interest. The MK Party also wants to articulate that it is the only party that stopped the introduction of the VAT increase since its emergence in the political landscape in South Africa, a move that reduced the ANC's power to sub 40% party, which the ANC abused in solely passing punitive budgets and a VAT increase from 14% to 15% during Ramaphosa's term as president. The MK Party is the only party that has progressively advanced the will of the people in parliament and in the country. So the MK Party have tabled the motion of no confidence against the Minister of Finance, and it will be lucky if the Minister of Finance survives this one. The reason why I say that is because it seems like a lot of, especially the opposition political parties, are not happy about how he's running the finance ministry. And you know what is happening? I just see this becoming a disaster for him on his side, to say that he may not survive. He may not survive this. He may not. Because now he's busy scoping around, going to the US, looking for monies, and it shows that he has no plan, no proper plan table. So the MK Party have tabled a motion of no confidence against Minister of Finance Godongwana, and they said that he has refused to do this thing, what we called wealth tax, and to tax the rich. He has refused because they are saying that he is listening to business, and they are saying that no, they want him out. So that was very interesting, and I think this will be very challenging for the ANC, especially since the ANC does not have that majority vote. It will be very difficult because it seems like the opposition political parties are just not happy, even close, with our Minister of Finance, Godongwana, because even now, today, this day, the Minister of Finance has not came up with a solid plan on what will happen going forward. Because remember, time and time again, they did declare that the country was facing some real financial issues. So on how will he just work this about, we just don't know. Or maybe he'll get that IMF loan there just to keep things running for now. So,
and I want not to speak on behalf of these political parties. Majority of them rejected VAT increase, the ANC included. But the ANC position with a review of 0.5%.
It's only UMkhoto Wesizwe that went to the streets to reject VAT increase. There is no any other political party here in South Africa that went to watch against the VAT increase. It's only UMkhoto Wesizwe. When others were trying to discuss the VAT in court and in parliament, it's only us who went to the ground to reject VAT, because we know that you cannot win in the court and in the boardrooms what you have not won on the ground.
So the SG says that there is no other political party to take the glory except the MK Party. So that was so very interesting. It says that the MK Party have been on the ground, they've been marching against this VAT increase, and have tabled in parliament to say that they don't want any VAT increase. So what is so interesting is that the EFF, Julius Malema, responded to this and said that there are some clowns and idiots who want to take now glory as if that they were the chief planners to say that they must do this thing of a no VAT increase. Let's hear what the EFF leader, Julius Malema, has responded and said about this VAT hike here.
Be a genuine government without a legitimate budget. There is no budget because the Minister of Finance has withdrawn the Division of Revenue Bill and Appropriations Bill, meaning he has to create a new fiscal framework to introduce these bills again. That means there is no money allocated for anything in South Africa as we stand here today. Godongwana wrote a letter to the media this week saying he is reversing VAT increase, and this same week a group of fools started celebrating with the ANC and called a press conference celebrating that they stopped a VAT increase. They are lying. It was the EFF that stopped the VAT increase in South Africa.
So after we've heard the EFF talking about their contribution, also Helen Zille has came in forth and said that no, it is because of them that now this VAT, no increase VAT hike has happened. And this is what Helen Zille have said here.
We've had some intense breaking news this past 24 hours with a big win in our war against the VAT increase. The big win happened when the Minister of Finance's lawyers approached us for an out-of-court settlement. Now that means one thing and one thing only. It means that they think it's best to reach a settlement before they're ordered by the court to, in fact, step back from the unlawful process of increasing VAT from the 1st of May. Now, there's still some way to go. We still have to get the offer from the Minister's lawyers, and we still have to hopefully get an offer by the Speaker of Parliament or have the court declare the decision in Parliament on the fiscal framework invalid. But this is no doubt, there has been a major victory in this all-out war that we're fighting on behalf of taxpayers in South Africa.